Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing the people of Choma Central constituency to raise this rare, but I believe very important point of order. Sir, I can comfortably state that as we gather here in this house, I'm one of the senior members of this house. Mr. Speaker, I'm raising on a point of order bordering on the decorum and the decency, respectability of this august house. Mr. Speaker, my point of order is on the following honorable members of this house, and I'm naming them in line with what Honorable Tutwangulube did to name those who had attended NDF here, to preclude a perception that we can't debate ourselves. Mr. Speaker, my point of order is on Honorable Joyce Nonde, Honorable Mulenga Kampamba, Honorable Tutwangulube, Honorable Usambo. For purposes of this point of order, but not exclusive, Mr. Speaker, to other members, you will agree with me that before 2016 elections that culminated into the current house, this house was a house of decency. When members stood to debate, other members would listen and would go into a discourse of contestation of ideas. Ever since 2016 elections, Mr. Speaker, you agree with me that it is very hard for anybody to project a decent debate because members, especially on your right, led by these aforesaid, would be running defamatory, would be running demeaning, derogatory, unpalatable statements, as if to turn this house, Mr. Speaker, like a political playground. To such an extent that sometimes members are unable now to freely deliver what they are here to do. If you did a random perusal, Mr. Speaker, of your Hansard, you will find out that you have done more guidance in the last 3 years than you did between 2011 and 2016, trying to come PF to be responsible.
What's your point of order?
They've given you too much headache, sir. And me too. And I'm concerned as a member of this house that the decorum of this house is deteriorating. And my point of order, sir, is, are these members that I have named who just joined this house in 2016 in order to come and undermine the decorum of this house? Ministers behaving not just like backbenchers, but like children.
Honorable member, remove the word children. The word children.
I withdraw, Mr. Speaker. Behave like young people, maybe at a school playground or drama club, when we are under this important house. Are they in order, Mr. Speaker, to demean the decorum of this house to these levels where now members of the public, when we go out there, they look at this house with low esteem? Or because of their misconduct? Are they in order, Mr. Speaker? I need your serious ruling, because the decorum of this house is what keeps this house going. I thank you, sir.
I'm perturbed by this point of order. I'm perturbed. Firstly, I think it's unfair and inappropriate to single out those 3 members of parliament, whether they were 3 or 4. Very unfair. The problem of running commentaries is a perennial problem. It's a perennial problem. Order, it's a perennial problem. It's a perennial problem. And ideally, the whips should be in the forefront in checking this particular problem. Secondly, you've raised a point about decorum and dignity. Just on Friday, it was on Friday. As recent as Friday, there was some disorder, admittedly. And I was trying to manage that disorder. For your benefit, Honorable Member of Parliament for Choma, for avoidance of doubt, I requested you to sit down. And he refused, practically refused. And by the time I restored order, you had walked out. I don't know what dignity you added to the House. I don't know what decorum you added. So, Honorable Member of Parliament for Choma, you should be the last person to complain. And for information of the House, there was a point of order raised in connection with your conduct. I reserved my ruling. And this is my ruling now. The matter is being referred to the Privileges Committee. Who was on the floor? Honorable Member for Zambia.